didn't actually go in. All right.
While she's doing that, last time on our session, what happened last time?
We were going back to Wolfar after meeting with... I've got none of my sheets up.
Rogar, yes.
Rogar, yeah. After meeting with the Regent.
Oh yeah. So you guys went to the Regent, who
Yes.
had some kind of a deal with the Draconic Federation, represented by Rogar. You're not entirely sure about the deal, but it had something to do with the exchange of a magical item, which you later found out that it was the white dragon mask. But you're not entirely sure what was given in exchange for it, except that it has been promised to be given. And you also knew, you were given the information by Rogar himself that the other masks are fake, except for the black one, of course. As you also met with your new party member, whose name is, I keep forgetting, it is Jarden, yes, who is a gnome, and he accompanied Rogar when you first met him, and he has decided to join you on your way back to Ulfa to deliver the golden cart supposedly filled with magical artifacts. And as you left the city, less than about an hour on the road, you were stopped by a barricade, which you later figured out was orchestrated by Logan and his men. And as the battle ensued, you realized that Logan was looking specifically for the werewolf or the hybrid venom that Dennis has on him, as well as he was pretty pissed off against Cassandra for informing the Regent about his activities.
Being a snitch.
Yeah.
You know what they say about snitches? They get stabbed by werewolves.
Well, yeah. But she stood quite far away from him, so she didn't get hit yet, but...
He just kept hitting me instead.
Well, yeah, you were getting in his way. Sorry, what do you say?
It's a fun pastime, really.
Yeah.
Hitting him.
And as you continue to fight Logan and his men were pretty easy to put down. You kill a couple of them, and you have 4 of them unconscious. I will put you on this map that you were fighting last time. And as you had as Marlowe had Logan within his grasp and was about to kill him, he decided to let him live and let Dennis take care of him. And as Dennis pulled Logan into the water and tried to waterboard him, he realized that Logan supposedly went still. His body, all his muscles stopped for a few seconds, and a couple of seconds later, you started to see some kind of a deformation or some kind of a change in Logan's body. And we shall start today. As Dennis is still holding on to what's starting to look less and less like Logan's body now, is something familiar, at the same time quite different from what the 4 of you have seen before. You can see from underneath the water Logan's body slowly expanding and, in a way, breaking out of his own splint mail armor. Some of the armor is still stuck into his body as his body grows in size to a much bigger size, almost double, which is unlike what you have seen before in the other hybrids, where their size pretty much remained the same and they had a pretty obvious humanoid form or shape even after they turned. But what you see in front of you is something far, far away from a hybrid that you have seen a couple of nights back. This one, Logan, he's becoming bigger. At the same time, his body no longer has the shape of a humanoid at all. It is starting to look more and more like a monstrosity that you could only dream of, that none of you even heard of before. It is about almost twice as tall as Logan was, and you can slowly see his skin being covered in black, thick fur as his eyes go completely white. You no longer see Logan. You do see what looks very much like a hybrid, but much bigger, and seems to be far more mad at Dennis, who just a few seconds back was trying to drown him and possibly succeeded, for all Dennis knows. I need everyone to roll initiative. Do you remember what you rolled last time?
No.
No.
No, because no, just Dennis, because Dennis and Logan, they both rolled initiative last time.
I believe, if I remember correctly, the werewolf rolled higher?
I think it was like 10 or 11 or something, but it's fine. We just roll it again.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling up now to see if it's there.
No, it's fine. You can just roll again. It's not a problem.
Wow. I'm a lot faster than I thought it would be. Oh yeah.
And all of you can see this happening from wherever you are standing right now.
Oh no, I probably wouldn't. However, I probably wouldn't hear thrashing noises.
You can hear his armor breaking and denting in. It's almost like someone is hitting a metal armor with a hammer. And you can quite obviously see this huge beast that is standing in front of Dennis, just slightly in the decline, close to the river.
Really? No. One spell set. I don't know if I'm moving first though. Am I?
No, I'm,
Yeah, I haven't
I'm going a
rolled
bit
yet.
faster.
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, you good. Oh, sweet, I have one more level 2. Nice.
So I have no spells, and I have no way to heal anybody, so
Well, I've
don't
got,
die.
Mac him with the sword.
in all fairness, we've got to assume, considering he was probably at 1 HP before he turned, he's still got to be relatively low. As a safe assumption.
You would think,
Yeah, I'm not that
but
lucky.
It all depends. I mean, if he's like a druid in the beast shape, then he gets an extra bit of health.
I think it's
He
more
cannot
just
be
werewolf.
shaped. Oh wait, he can.
Probably just
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jared. What the heck is your name? Jarden.
Jordan.
Yes, Jarden.
It's literally French for garden.
Right. But you can't B-shape anymore, Jarden. You already used
Well, I
both your
cannot wild
B-shape.
shape anymore. I am out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this one's more like alpha werewolf.
I am the Omega.
Ooh.
He's
Also roll a natural 20. All right. So it is Danis's turn. You see, you are the closest to it, and you see literally everything that's happening in front of you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna move just to the side. and I'm going to hit him with the stick pointy thing. Nope.
Nope.
Then
You are currently quite confused as well as surprised at what you're seeing.
makes sense. So I'm going to run away. 5,
Okay.
10, 15, 20, 25. It's about here. And I think that's it for me, unfortunately. Oh no, I can
Alright.
also bonus. I'm going to dash. Just go a little bit further. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. It is the hybrid's turn. As you attempt to stab it with your rapier and fail and run away, the hybrid, in this case Logan, he doesn't seem to care or notice any of what just happened in front of him. He is still looking at his own body in almost like admiring it or trying to observe what is happening to him. It's almost like someone is looking at a painting or a piece of art.
Is that his entire turn?
No. I'm just describing what you see.
Worth a go.
As he looks up and sees the lot of you, he seems to recognize you, and you can actually hear him speak, unlike other hybrids who seem to be not in their own minds when they transform. As you can hear in this, it's not such a loud voice, but a very deep and gruffy voice. Ah, I see. So this is how I look like. Well, I do have to thank you, Dennis. We have been working for quite a long time trying to find the appropriate trigger. I wonder how long it takes for the others to discover this. I do feel quite powerful. It is a masterpiece, is it not? As he still keeps looking down at his own body, and as he stands tall, you can see that he is not really looking at you in particular, but his own fallen comrades. And he, in a very beast-like form, on all his four, even though his arms, they do look like arms, but he's on all fours on the ground and he's running towards the unconscious bodies and he's starting to tear into them. Just assume it hits, as long as it's not a natural one. Just one more. Okay. So you can see this monstrosity biting into the bodies of the unconscious friends of his or ex-friends of his, and their bodies are completely mutilated as pieces of their muscle and bone and brain matter is all spewing out of the mouth of this huge beast. You can see that there is literally no way that these two are anymore alive. You can barely see any human form left in the unconscious bodies.
Sweet.
Moves up and ends his turn. It is Jordan's turn.
So I'm going to wander over after hearing a commotion. Oh god! Oh god! And immediately cast Healing Spirit on the area. Specifically around here.
I'll just draw it
Just not on the werewolf, please.
like here.
No, it doesn't matter. I can choose who it heals.
Okay.
It heals spirits.
Okay.
And until whenever you or a creature you see moves into the spirit space for the first time. So I'm assuming that means that if they are in the space already, I can't instantly heal them.
Starts its turn there. If it starts its turn there, so on their turn you heal them. You don't heal on your turn.
So basically, including that doesn't do that. Including this guy, and then allies, obviously.
Yes.
And as well. Because I'm not letting these guys die from this. Willingly.
Okay. They are unconscious.
Well, yeah, but they can be healed from it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you want to put this here or here. Like, why don't you draw the square? So I'm not sure where you wanted to place it.
Oh, it's a 30-foot square.
Oh, it's a 30. No, it's a 5-foot cube. It's only a single square on the grid.
Oh, up to 30 feet, yeah, my
It's
bad.
just... Yeah. And until spend whenever a creature you see moves in the spirit space. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, so it's anything moving into that space.
Oh, yeah, or it starts its turn.
Well, then I'm going to be placing that, like, right here, then. Never mind. Sorry, guys.
Okay. I will draw it.
And then I'm going to use the rest of my movement to try to get in front of my allies so they don't hopefully get hurt that much.
Alright. As you run closer, you do see that this thing is about 4 times, maybe even 5 times as big as you. Still not looking directly at you, very much interested in those that have already fallen. It's Marlowe's turn.
I thought you guys were joking when you said that there were werewolves.
I don't know, a whole lot to do. I'll just run over here and smack him, because why not?
Can you flank him?
No, not with any of my movement.
No,
You
yeah.
can like go there or there.
Yeah, I'm talking
I
about
mean, can I-
Marlowe.
I mean, I guess I could get there.
Yeah, it's not such a huge
Like
decline. Yeah, or an incline, yeah.
Just for the advantage on the strike, greatly.
Stop.
Didn't need it.
22 does hit. Is your weapon magical?
It is not.
Okay. As you go behind Logan, and he still doesn't seem to notice you, you manage to get a really good swing of your Morningstar on its back. And you can feel, when the Morningstar hit his back, you feel that his skin and his bones and his muscle are much, much thicker and stronger than the ones that you have fought before. And your Morningstar doesn't do as much damage as you think it does.
Well, I will try. I mean, I guess I'll hit him with my Shield Master. I mean, I'll just try and knock him down, I guess.
Yeah, you can try. It's the same. Alright. You manage to somehow, even though you are at the decline, you manage to push at the back of this huge beast, and since it is halfway up the incline, it slips and it falls over. It is currently prone. Is that the end of your turn?
That is it.
Alright. You can see behind you that Rogar is currently trying to get onto the carts with the magical items, but now that he has heard the commotion behind him, he turns and quite calmly walks forward. Is there one more somewhere around here?
There's more like one less and one really big more.
I can feel him standing right in front of me. As he says that, he sends in one big uppercut towards the prone creature, who is still pretty. Even though Logan is prone, he's still taller than Jarden at least.
Anything could be taller than Jarden.
Yep, both hits. As you can see, Rogar come up very calmly and feel out where the beast is and send really quick punches to the beast's body. Surprisingly, almost all the damage has gone through, unlike the Morning Star. It is Cassandra's turn.
Alrighty. Well, let's start this off with a fireball.
Go ahead. 18 does hit. As you conjure up a fireball, just like you always do, you manage to hit it straight in his body. Oh, wait. No. It is prone. I just realized.
Half cover.
Dang it.
Well, it's prone, so you have
It's
disadvantage
so
on all
big.
ranged
No,
attacks.
it's a really easy target.
I don't know. It's halfway down the decline as well, so I would say the 10 does not hit at all. It looked like it almost hit, but it just grazed off some of the fur. Didn't seem to do much of the damage at all.
Did I leave a bald spot in the fur?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a
that's
bald
a small
stretch.
victory for me.
Minor victories.
Alright, are these the barricades down here?
No, those are the wagons that you were traveling in.
Oh, okay.
I forgot
Um,
there technically.
let's see. I'm gonna just move a little bit back.
Okay,
And that's a bit for me.
it is back to Dennis.
So, question. So, if I were to move into here, would I automatically receive healing?
Automatically.
Yep.
And what would that be?
The first time.
All right. I think it's a 1d6.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You get to roll. Well, okay. I mean, either one of you can roll. You get 6 hit points back.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take that 6.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Rogar walked through it as well, so why don't you roll a d6? Oblivion.
Uh-huh. Wow. I spelled the roll wrong. Nice, guys.
All right. You can continue with your turn.
Okay, fingers crossed I can hit him with advantage this time.
That does hit.
And
You. That is, yeah, that also hits. Is it still a 2d6? I'm always confused with that. Is it a 3d6 or 2d6?
this
It's still
level is
3d6.
2. I think at next level it goes up to 3d6.
Yeah. All right. You managed to get a much better position where you're standing on top of the recently mutilated body of one of the rangers who shot an arrow at you earlier. And as you're standing with your ankle deep in blood and muscle, you don't even know what you're standing in, you manage to get a pretty good jab at the prone and already punched Logan, and it's a pretty good hit.
So I'm
It
gonna
is-
use my bonus action to move. No. What? Like one further? And end my turn.
Okay. It is back to Logan. As you can see, his hind legs pushing onto the sand and trying to get back up. And he manages to get back up. Uses half his movement to stand up, and he looks down at all of you. Well, looks like I'm gonna have a good meal today. As he starts to raise his really long arm at
Can I attempt
you.
to taunt him?
Okay. You can roll. I'll say that you use your reaction for taunting, and you can roll just a charisma check.
No. I was going to see if I could just get his attention to focus on me instead of possibly the
Yeah.
small little gnome.
The small little gnome probably has more health.
I've got 17.
I have 36.
Fair enough.
You manage to taunt Logan once again, trying to bring him closer to you, but this form of Logan doesn't seem to care at all. Shrugs it off quite easily and tries to pummel down onto Jarden. Is your name Jarden? Yes, your name is
Yes.
Jarden.
My name is John.
All right.
That's the mention.
All right. The first hit, you see Logan bringing his claw,
Yeah, so
which has these razor sharp
it's
nails that you haven't seen
off
before, but
straight
the others have
yes.
seen before in the other hybrids.
No, by the time
Down
I got
onto
it,
you.
Dad's in between him, and I just shouted,
That's a 17
"Get
hit
the
you.
fuck out!"
Yes, it does.
And he left.
All right.
I don't think he quite
Well,
appreciated being
Damarinos.
surrounded.
As he brings one of his arms down to claw you right
Back
across
here.
your chest,
I don't care.
his other arm comes from underneath you, tries to clutch you within his grasp. You are currently clutched. You are grappled
Done.
as far
After
as
making a saving throw.
the way it is phrased is you will make the saving throw on your turn, at the start of your turn.
Oh, okay.
That's an action.
Les?
Alright.
One second. Let me just check.
Because I didn't know if it would be a contested acrobatics to get out of it, or anything special.
This doesn't make sense. No, yeah. You gotta roll now. Roll a strength saving throw for DC 14 now to see if you're
Alright.
grappled. Later, if you are grappled, then you will contest.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Strength saving, go!
You managed to get out of it, as you
My
can
tiny
feel.
little arms.
Yeah, you can feel his second arm with razor sharp claws coming from underneath, trying to swoop you off the ground. But since you are really small and nimble, and with a lot of bodies around Logan, he couldn't quite catch you, but instead catch the unconscious person next to you. And you can see that his leg, just his leg, one of his legs, comes completely off his body.
Oh, that looks bad.
That is the end of his turn. It is your turn, Jordan.
All right. 1 second, I need to figure out if this costs. All right. Bonus action. I'm going to have my magical creature move into freaking over here to its range. That didn't work.
Here?
It's intangible, so it's basically just floats over.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so that is placed there, and then I am going to. Does Shillelagh cast? No, it does not. Oh, at the bonus action. Never mind. I am going to use Gust on our gentleman over. Wait, is it a large?
It is large, yes.
All right, well that's going to be completely useless then. I was going to try casting Gust on it.
What would Gust do? Okay. Yeah.
First smaller creature you choose must receive strength or be pushed 5 feet.
Yeah, it gets pushed back. Yeah. But it is large.
All right, then I am just going to beat him up with my quarterstaff.
Okay. That does hit.
All right.
for pretty low damage, but you do manage to hit it with your quarterstaff. As you size him up and realize that your spells aren't effective against a creature of this size, you just take your quarterstaff out and knock it on his head. It didn't seem to care at all. It did take some damage though.
The boop was just to send a message.
Let him know who's boss.
I can critical you, but I will do it weakly.
Yeah.
It is Marlowe's turn.
Well, same thing I always do.
Well, you do get healed first on your turn.
Get that 1d6.
Yep, you gain 60 points.
Shout out to everyone's heals.
Oh yeah, sure, we can heal through a spirit, but I try and drink a potion, it's just double ones.
Yeah. I think you rolled that like 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it's the power of nature versus the power of artificial energy supplements.
No, it's just a DM trying to kill me.
It's vegan.
Well, the Morningstar does hit. It just hits, actually. Since you are behind it, you managed to get a pretty good hit on its back once again. You managed to hit its spine, and you can hear and feel the cracking of some of its bones. And it is currently bloodied. Do you want anything else?
I'm gonna not knock him down because that seems to not help, so I won't do that. So that's my turn.
That is true.
Well, I mean, it does help for everyone else's turns. Wait, no, everyone already has basically advantage.
Yep. Alright. That's the end of your turn. It's back to Rogar. Rogar. Let me see. Need to check one thing. When do monks get the stunning strike?
Wait, what?
Monks, they get their stunning strike in either level 5 or 6. I just want to check.
I
believe it's
level 5, yeah.
Monks, 76. Yep.
Yes.
Ooh, but he does not have key points. So he is just going to go ahead and punch him a couple more times. I thought we already put him down, Dennis.
Yeah, turns out werewolves are quite difficult to kill.
Ah, that explains why his skin is far more softer than it was last time.
Can you not tell this thing's here?
Ah. Ooh.
No, we cannot.
Both technically hits, because he is flanked. And does pretty decent damage. As you can see him, when you ask him if you can't see, you can see that he isn't really punching like how you would punch, but he is pretty much feeling it out with his arms before punching anything and anyone in the past combat, even now. And he takes 11 damage. You can see Logan on his trying to get back up to his feet. He's still standing, but he's hurting a lot currently, and he's also bleeding out from his back from all the Morningstar hitting him. That's the end of Rogar's turn. It's back to Cassandra's turn.
Alright. Let's try something a little different.
Ah, something different. Chill touch, that does hit.
Wait, so you do actually know other spells?
Well, she's used it before.
I don't know, man. All I've seen is fire.
Alright. As you can see, all 4 of you can see a spectral, skeletal-looking hand, which for a second you believe it to be coming out of Logan, but it seems to be going into the space where Logan is standing currently, and it gives this beast the chills, and it in a way squeals in pain, but it's still standing tall. You want to do anything else, Cassandra?
I think that's it. Oh, well, I'll take another couple steps back.
Okay. It is Dennis's turn.
So I'll get back into position and rinse and repeat.
18 does it. As you run towards him and plunge your rapier through his side, you can see quite a lot of blood, which doesn't seem to look like human blood. Very, very sludgy and dark, bluish, reddish kind of blood, maroonish, so to speak, flowing out of his torso. It is still standing, but at its very, very last legs.
Okay, can I... Yeah, I'll just disengage again.
Well, you don't have to disengage, you can just walk away.
Yeah, you know, I'm just going back.
Yeah. Alright. It is back to Logan. Since he's in his last legs, you can see him looking around at anything that he can get his claws on. And once again, he looks down at this small creature in front of him, and he's gonna try to claw him again.
Can I attempt to... Can I attempt to taunt him again? As a reaction? I know I'm pushing him.
I would say right now, I don't think so. It's in his last legs. He's trying to be desperate. He's pretty desperate. He's just trying to get his
He's
claws
just
on
swiping
someone.
for the sake of swiping right now.
Yeah. Alright. Does a 15 hit you?
I believe it does, actually.
Then you take
Yes,
13
AC
damage.
15. Alright.
And you gotta make another strength saving throw. As he tries the same maneuver, but at this time with a lot less flair and a lot slower. Well, you are currently grappled by this almost dead creature. But now that you are within his grasp,
Let go, please.
you see just before his inevitable death, it brings you high up into the air and it tries to eat you.
No one's not supposed to be this high in the air. This is not normal.
This is actually quite normal.
Does a 16 hit you?
Yes, it does.
Does 12 bring you to
Also,
0?
there goes me. Good night.
Well, if the 12 brings you to 0, you immediately fail one death saving throw.
That's
As
fine.
you see, well, what you see is nothing because you're unconscious and you're bleeding out. But what others see is this monstrosity opening its mouth so big. Its mouth open span is like about 180 at almost 200 degrees in angle, that it manages to put the entirety of Jarden into its mouth. All you can see of Jarden are his tiny boots trying to kick out and slowly just go limp. That's the end of his turn. If you roll a natural 1, I am afraid that you're gonna die. You gotta make a death saving throw.
Alright, let's do this.
Anything but a natural 1.
Death saving throw.
Ah, you are one closer to death, but you're still alive and bleeding out.
This is fine. Also, no more healing, guys.
Oh yeah, this thing is gone. Oh shit, not him, but still healing.
Marlowe's
We should
been
still
sent
leave
to the
it
void.
off the map.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring him
Yeah,
back.
healed into oblivion.
I think you were here, yeah. It is Rogar's turn.
Take convenience to hide under here.
Actually, I think Marlowe was before.
Yeah, it
Rogar.
was my turn. I didn't.
Oh, yeah, it's Marlo's turn, yeah.
And I'm gonna smack him with my Morning Star because that's all I ever do.
Alright, but you do not have advantage. It actually misses. It just misses. 13 does not hit. A 15 would have hit, but you are not flanking. As you try to hit him with the Morning Star, you almost hit him and almost killed him. But the swing just misses his body, and you probably get a bit of his fur on your Morning Star itself. But he is still standing and currently swallowing one of your newly found party members.
Barely know the guy. I don't care.
It is back to Cassandra.
Alright, well, it worked out before, so... Damn it.
Nope. As another skeletal hand pops up from Cassandra's hand, and as it moves towards Logan's body, Cassandra seems to be very distracted by these boots flipping out from its mouth, and the skeletal hand seems to vanish before it even touches Logan. You want anything else, Cassandra?
I will take another couple steps away.
All right.
5 miles later.
It is Dennis's turn.
I'm gonna do what I always do.
You don't hit. Oh, okay. A 22 does hit, since you are flanking with Rogar. And you don't need sneak attack, you have killed it. How do you want to do this?
I yell, bad doggy.
Wait,
let him
before
go."
that, I'm assuming it's lethal and not non-lethal.
No, I'm just killing him.
Okay.
Fucking tired of werewolves.
Yeah, you and me both well.
As you plunge your rapier into its already pretty much torn apart torso, you see a familiar sight sliding out, not from its mouth, but from down its throat, and from its pretty much torn up torso, you see Jordan's unconscious body lying down in front of you.
Can I attempt to stabilize?
Yeah. If you have healing, you can heal. Otherwise, you can roll a medicine check to try and stabilize.
Well, I've got
If you
no healing,
yeah.
so it'll have to be a medicine check.
The medicine check, if you roll a...
I do have a healing potion on me.
Yeah, if you roll a 5 or lower on your medicine, it counts as a death failure to him. Death throw failure. So if you want to take the risk, you can take it.
You can do it, I believe in you.
Well, you said
And
do
if
it.
you roll 10 or higher, yep, you count as one. You haven't completely stabilized him yet. He gets one success in his death saving throws.
Oh, goody, now it's on to me to die. Okay.
Hey, I'm trying to help.
No, you're helping, yeah. I thank you for this.
I killed a werewolf as well.
It is back to Jordan. If you're anything less than a 10, you're going to be dead.
Alright, great ancestors, save my butt.
Oof.
Nice.
You're currently still bleeding out, but one step closer to death, one step away from death.
Alright, bottom
Sorry,
of the
one
night.
step closer to alive and one step
Balls, let's do this.
away from death. It is Rogar's turn.
So it's Marlowe again.
Oh yeah, it's Marlowe and then Rogar.
No lay on hands, buddy.
I already used all my stuff in the last fight to keep Dennis alive.
I know.
And I cast Sanctuary like 14 times on him.
I know. I was there watching and laughing.
Does that say if Marlowe was to attempt to stabilize him as well, would he get advantage because I'm also helping?
Yeah,
Just flanking
I would
works
say.
than Max.
I'm not proficient in medicine, so it's not gonna.
Well,
I would say, instead of advantage, I'll just say you cannot fail it. So you can, even if you roll less than a 5, he won't die.
Well, that's not any fun.
Well, I was gonna say it couldn't.
I'm with you there, man.
Yeah, nothing happens since you are giving him advantage. Otherwise, he would have died.
3 would have been so much better, man.
Stab scalpel in.
But do not worry, you have Rogar there. He will come up. I see that my old friend seems to be in quite a bad spot. I don't seem to be able to feel his presence anymore.
We're trying to keep him alive, but that's what happens when you face really big creatures.
Lead me to him as you see Rogar giving his hand to you.
Okay.
Describe his injuries.
He was eaten, so more like bite marks.
As you bring him to Jarden, you see Rogar kneel down with his hands on top of the bite marks that are pretty much all around Jarden's chest and back, and you can see that Rogar is currently it's not really a ritual, but he's more like moving his arms around Jarden's body in almost like in a more medical kind of way, where he seems to know where each of his bones and muscles seems to exist, and without any other materials or any potions or any medical kits or anything, he seems to press down and apply pressure to certain parts of his body, trying to stabilize them. Oh.
Freaking
Well,
crits.
as just a few seconds after you see this pretty weird kind of method, looks very much like a trained skill, not exactly magic, but more of a professional skill, so to speak. You see that most of the wounds out of which the blood is flowing out of seems to close up, not completely, but slowly and carefully, but the bleeding has completely stopped. You don't see blood coming out anymore. And you see Rogar slowly, in a way, taking his Jarden's shirt off and tying the shirt around the wounds to contain this temporary fix to his situation. You are still at 0.
Oh yeah.
Just roll a 1d4 / R1d4.
Alright, hold on. D4. Oh, goody, 4 hours.
You are unconscious for 4 hours. You will gain consciousness naturally in 4 hours. You are officially out of combat unless you want to do something to these 2 guys who are still alive, and one of them probably is dead because his leg got cut off.
Bleed out.
I'll just say he's dead.
Did we make sure to loot them?
Yeah, you're out of combat, so you can do whatever you want.
You can all these.
Yeah, let's just go through whatever they had.
Just roll an investigation check. Yeah, with 15 hour and 18 on all these, the archers and the rogues, you can find all the weapons that they have on them. There are 3 longbows and 3 maces, I believe. If you want, you can take them. All of them are wearing leather armor. I will just roll for gold. All in all, on all of them, you can find about 70 gold pieces, along with Logan's body, of course, on all their bodies. You can split it however you want, or you can put it inside your bag of holding. Other than that, the thugs don't have anything.
Fair enough. I think the sooner we leave here, the better.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I will just assume that you check Logan's body, which is currently not really Logan's body. But I'll just say... since he turned inside a river, would it be fair if all his stuff went downstream?
Well, I wouldn't say he turned in the river. I did have him on the bank. I just shoved his head in the water.
True.
Here's the waterboarding again.
Well, you can, if you want, you can take some of the splint mail that have been broken to pieces. You can take his longsword if you want it still there.
Is he
than
still?
that-
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is he still big and furry?
Yes, but with the 15, I would say that his body is starting to slowly but gradually turn back into his humanoid form.
I quickly run up and use my dagger to cut off a patch of hair.
Hybrid hair or his own hair?
Hybrid.
Okay, I would say, he's still he's not completely back to Logan form yet, so you do have a handful of hair.
Alrighty.
That's not weird.
No.
It's just for fine. It's fine.
I would say, as you were with a 15, I would say, since most of his stuff that he was carrying is now on the banks of the river and not on his body itself, you, Cassandra, you see something very familiar to you, something that you have written just a while back. You see the parchment with the information that you wrote in your handwriting on him.
I take the letter.
All right, you take the letter. Oh, that's it. Or do you want to do anything else with the letter?
Can I just look it over? Does it look like it's been tampered with at all?
Without rolling anything, I would say that is literally the letter that you wrote with your own hand, but in Logan's person and not in Fane, the Regent's person.
If I use my lovely Eldritch sight, can I see if there's any sort of magical residue on it?
Nope. There's literally nothing magical around here other than weapons that you're carrying.
Alright. I'll just pocket the letter.
Alright.
So yeah, I don't think we should be staying around here much longer.
Alright. Do you want to do anything to this unconscious man? He's still just lying down there. This man.
It'd be nice. If not,
So what? Can you repeat what he said?
What?
I didn't hear what he said.
oh, I was gonna say that'd be nice.
Can we just leave him
Coming out of
propped up against a tree?
I mean, yeah, you can, if you want to.
Yeah, like I said, the least we have to do with this, the better at this stage.
Just put him there. Alright. You see Rogar walking back to his wagon, and you see him just go in and sit in his usual position. Whenever you're ready, we can resume our travels before anyone searching for these men come back here.
Sounds like fun.
So wait, did you leave me also propped up against the tree?
No, not you. You're coming with us. We left the unconscious henchman tied to a tree.
I was about to say, did you just leave me?
Yeah, left you on a tree with a 20 extra gold in your pocket.
You left me on a tree next to a scourge of dead bodies.
People would fear you.
With guards coming, if I remember from Skyrite.
Precisely, that's why it's
Yeah.
probably best if we bug out.
All right. I will assume that you started moving. So what is the course of action? Where do you want to go? How do you want to go? How fast do you want to go?
I'm patiently waiting for me to wake up.
Obviously, the end destination is Wolfar, so it's as far as we can get before it turns pitch black.
It is, I believe it was slightly after noon by the time you guys left. And I would say 2, 4, 6, 8 hours. It's about, as a matter of fact, you actually recognize the place that you are at when the sun goes down and it's pretty dark, which is back to the ruins that you stayed in when you were on your way to Dragon Hell.
Might as well stay here again.
I mean, more werewolves might not be here, it's fine.
No, just fishmen and griffins.
Oh,
Yeah, Jarden would be awake by now.
the second I'm conscious, immediate cure wounds.
All right, you do you. What is the plan? Do you want to stay the night on the road in the ruins, or do you want to push to Wolfheim?
Probably best to stay the night. Or does anyone else or Rogar have any different opinions?
Works for me.
Well, you are my escort, so I do what you say that we have to do. I do not know these parts well enough to see if you want to travel at night.
Well, it's that I'd rather be safe than sorry.
This time we should try to. Oh,
What did you say, Aurora?
this time we should try to maybe hide everything a little better. Get everything inside as best we can.
Why, don't you want to lose your horse to a griffin again?
No.
Fair enough. Yeah, so if we can get the carts, the horses, and as much as possible undercover.
All right. Before you do any of that, as you go into the ruins that you were in about a week ago, the first thing that you sense is this terrible smell, and you feel like you know why it smells this bad in here. As you open the broken door and you walk into the ruins, you see the corpses rotting just where you left them last time.
Yeah, turns out dead bodies stay dead bodies.
Not all the time.
Unless they're werewolves.
Well, the dead bodies for Jarden's case are bodies of Shahojans, which are the fish people,
Mhm.
that you would have heard of, but you were not the part of the team who managed to put them down.
Yeah. As you say, I was gonna say I have a decent history, so hopefully I know what was on the island I live on.
Is this your first time seeing them, Jarden?
Well, no, I've heard about them before, but first time actually getting near one before, without them getting a little bit testy.
Well, I can guarantee these ones aren't going to win an argument.
Well, I would have supposed and hoped so. So do you guys come across werewolves often, or is that just more rare occurrence? I'd rather not do that.
I think it's just like the last 2 days.
Oh, so it's relatively normal. Lovely.
And we expect more of them to be north of Dragonheller, so yay.
Oh. I'm going to stay out of the woods then. And also keep silver on me.
What's that about Silver?
Nothing, it's, oh, hold on. I'm gonna make the history check for this. The old tales and lore, if my character sheet will load. Thank you. History. Would I know about Silver?
Would you know about what exactly?
About, like, Silver's properties with werewolves and all that.
I would say it's pretty common knowledge.
Okay. Well, yes, historically, at least in tall tales and legends, from what I thought these things existed from, until recently, silver is supposed to be one of the weak points. Something about the actual chemical makeup of them, I don't know.
Well, that would have been very helpful to know.
Well, yes, I thought we were really joking earlier about the werewolves, or else I would have brought in something.
Yeah, kind of wish we were joking as well, but who cares at this stage?
Any other mythical creatures you'd like to talk about?
No, just at the moment it's just been fishmen, hags, invisible dogs, and werewolves.
Oh, sounds normal.
Get used to it. Can we start setting up camp?
Yeah, you were talking while you're setting up. Do you want to do anything else, or just set up camp?
Is there nearby water, perchance?
Oh, yeah, for Jarden, you are currently in one of the many ruins along the southern coast.
Mm-hmm.
And you are pretty close to the cliff edge, and right under the cliff edge, which you can see the cliff from where you are. It's about 10 to 15 minutes walk. You can get an entire ocean of water, but of course you can't drink that water. But
It was more along the lines of, I smell like the inside of a werewolf's stomach.
you can always go to the southern shore and bathe
Wash up.
if you wish to. Yes.
Hold on. Yeah, I'll probably end up going down there real quick.
So I say I'll come with you, considering I was playing with werewolves.
All right. So who's staying? Who's going? What's happening?
I'm staying.
All right.
I'm staying.
Okay. I'm assuming the other two are going. I will say that Rogar and for Dragonborn, who don't seem to talk at all, are currently sitting around the golden crate of magical artifacts. In turn, they're taking turns to keep watch as Rogar just sits down in somewhat of a, I would say he's meditating, or he looks like he's meditating. He's just has his eyes closed and sitting down. But for the two of you, for Jordan and Danis, before you go, I'll just give you a short rest because you guys obviously would have taken a short rest. Because in my game, short rest is only 30 minutes long, so you would have taken it while you were traveling, so you can regain some hit points if you want.
Sweet, I get new forms every 30 minutes.
Yeah, you also get to shape shift if you want.
All right. Well, I'm going to use my little bonuses of. Oh, so I always forget the rule with hit dice. Is you just take how many you have, or
Yeah, you just click on your D8 on hit dice and select how many you want to use.
You got to declare before you use.
Oh, okay. I used 2.
Yeah, because after this, if you think you still have a bit more HP, roll it again.
All right, let's see, 2d8 hit die. Excellent. 14 back to me.
The sun is. It's almost set. It's dark. It's not really dark, but it is relatively dark. As both Danis and Jordan are walking past the ruins towards the cliff, the first thing you notice is obviously the dead griffin lying down behind the ruins, which was also killed by the team. And as you start to walk closer and closer to the cliff, you can hear what sounds like a piece of cloth, so to speak, when it is really windy and it is hitting the piece of cloth. That's the sound that you're hearing right now.
Piece of cloth,
and it's really, really loud. Cloth. It's like a cloth.
Okay.
You can also, from where you're standing, and since the cliff is actually pretty high, all you see is the never-ending ocean to the south. But as you start to move closer and closer, you can even hear ropes and mostly what sounds like the flickering of a torchlight, but you don't see it, but you can hear it coming from just underneath the cliff that you're walking towards. I will put just the two of you on this map. I believe you and you are Robert, right? Keep confusing.
Yeah.
Yes, you are Robert. You two can see.
Yeah.
Well, you see what you see. And it is completely abandoned. You don't see anyone. You see... You know what? Let's make this easier. Let's go to Alone Talk.
Yep.
So what you see is a ship, relatively big, with double masts, and the sails are showcasing what is familiar to both of you. It is the sigil of the Tulga Empire. For Jordan, the Tulga Empire is this huge empire that pretty much controls the entirety of the sea, the ocean, and some of the islands. And they are mostly made up of fish people that they usually fight, shaojins and other smaller fish. And this ship seems to be abandoned. Like there's no one on it. All the lights on the deck, below the deck, they're all off. It's pretty dark. You can see that there is a pathway that leads down, and it leads down about 40 feet. The cliffs are pretty high. But you do hear the torches flickering some of the torches flickering, not all of them, along the walkways. And from your angle, you can actually see a smaller cave-like structure that seems to be dug out ages ago. It seems to be almost like it's part of the natural structure of the cliffs itself. And even there, from where you're standing, why don't you just roll like a perception or investigation check, either one? Yeah. Well, okay. From a 12, I would say.
Good. I can't take my passive. Never mind.
Yeah, I would say, you know what? Let's just say passive, since it's much higher anyway. I would assume that you would be looking for footsteps because it's all sand.
Mhm.
And as you are looking for it, you don't really see any footsteps. If there were any, they have been covered up, or the wind may have covered it up over the time this ship has been here. But from a 12 with perception, and even with both of you being really high at investigation and perception, I would say you can see some crates and some barrels somewhere around here inside the cave itself, stacked up in a. It's almost like they were stored here. And that's all that you see. What do you want to do immediately?
Jarden, I think we should get back to the group post haste.
One bad thing about this character. He's flipping at the switch to go explore this.
I am picking you up by the back of your collar and dragging you with me.
What doesn't want to see that?
Don't
Be
care.
something.
Would you like to make a contested check?
Go ahead.
If you want to.
So what would we have to roll? Like either me dragging him back out versus Jarden?
It's just
Athletics
athletics against athletics.
Athletics.
Or, athletics versus athletics or acrobatics.
You're coming with me.
Yeah, he seems to have a pretty good grip on your collar, and you haven't really walked that far out. It's only like 10 minutes out. If you shout, they might be able to hear you. But he managed to drag you, and you are back with the party. Let's go back to the other chat. We are back.
We have a minor problem, guys.
Actually, it sounds kind of interesting.
We have a ship right below the cliff, which seems to belong to the Thugar Empire.
Are there people aboard?
There doesn't seem to be any sign of life, no.
However, it does look like there's a cabin nearby that might actually hold some more intriguing things. Please, can we go? Sounds interesting.
Well, you see, Rogar doesn't seem to care that much. He is currently in a deep meditation state, as are his 4 assistants.
It's probably best if we wait till morning. If they're gone, I'll apologise to you then. But I don't think it's a wise decision to go jumping down there now.
But
I would agree with that.
yeah, all night.
Hey, how about this? Just to placate you till the morning, you can wear this.
The issue is I have to. Wait, hold on. Identify. Or actually, Arcana check on this. To see what it do.
You, just like someone before, I think it was Dennis who showed it to
Yeah, it was Orwin.
Orwin. Yeah. It is not magical at all. It's just a simple nightcap. You don't see any aura coming out of it. It's So you've never heard of a magical nightcap.
See, I don't think it's magical, but have I ever lied to you in our period together?
Well, no, but at the same time, it doesn't hold any special properties. I can see that myself.
Well, I know doesn't seem to be magical, but I've never lied, and I promise if you wear this
are you trying to
nightcap...
act with effect on me?
No, just to placate you for tonight, if you wear this nightcap, you'll have a pleasant dream, and in the morning, we can have a look at the ship.
The issue is I'm gonna have to fall asleep first for it to even work.
I could help with that,
Uh,
but you won't enjoy it.
Right. I wonder what you would do to put him to sleep.
I can think of a couple of things.
I was gonna say
You would
I
enjoy
want
it.
things that might not work or will work.
Yeah, so how does that sound? Just wear this lovely nightcap tonight, have a nice dream, then we can go play around with the ship in the cave tomorrow.
Fine.
Okay.
All right. Is anyone standing watch, or just everybody going to sleep?
I'll take a watch.
I will also take a watch.
All right. You also see that the Dragonborn assistants are also taking watch in turns.
Can I just ask the Dragonborns, even if they don't respond to me, make sure this idiot doesn't go off during the night?
You see one of them turn to you, and he doesn't say anything, but he nods and smiles at you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Just, roll, see if anything happens.
Of course it does.
Let me check just for a second.
So meanwhile, while whatever is happening is happening.
Can I ask, are you actually going to wear the nightcap?
No.
God damn it.
I know it's fake.
It's not fake, it's an actual item I have in my inventory.
No, I believe it's an item you have in your inventory. I just don't believe it has any magical properties.
Why is no one willing to test this out?
Because I can sense its properties. That's my character's whole shtick.
Hey, if it works for me, surely it's got something to it.
That's just because you dream.
And?
That it doesn't apply to the hat. You could say the very same thing about your sword.
No, that's just pointing kills people.
It also gives you pleasant dreams. It has the same viability as what you're saying.
In all fairness, without the nightcap I usually have nightmares, so it does its jobs.
Well, then you are suffering from placebo.
Like I said, I'm willing to bet that you have a nice dream if you wear this nightcap.
So please continue with whatever's happening, because I'm just like not buying any of this.
Why does no one buy this?
I'll just
Because it works for
say,
you. It's not real.
Dan has just rolled a perception check since you are taking first watch. Okay.
Passive of 23 help.
Yeah, you don't really feel anything or see anything happening anywhere around you. Even the Dragonborn who is taking watch doesn't seem to notice anything.
Fair enough. So
For
who's
second watch, whoever decided can roll a perception, or I'll take your passive if you don't want to roll.
That would be Jordan.
All right.
I'm gonna take my 19.
I mean, if you roll, that's a pretty good chance you'll get higher. But I'll take the 19.
I like to take my. In reality, I'm not really paying attention. I'm
Okay.
staring at the boat.
As you wake up, you see that the Dragonborn sitting next to you is constantly, from time to time, turning around and seeing if you're still there, and just smiling at you and turning back and looking into the into the blankness that is in front of him. Nothing seems to happen on your watch either. Everything is pretty smooth.
So,
We just hear some birds, nothing else.
So I'm going to go back to my tent now, if that's the end of my watch. Keep up the good work there, Dragonborn friend.
He, once again, doesn't say anything but just nods and turns back.
Alright, the second I go into my tent.
Okay, what do you want to turn into?
I am turning into a mouse. And scurrying my
Alright.
way down there.
You have managed. Wait. I do need to see. Just roll a stealth check just to.
Alright, hold on, I have to make sure.
With advantage. Yeah, you can check the mouse on the compendium. I'll just check.
Yeah.
Mouse. Nope, no results found.
I think it's a rat.
Yeah, I think it's considered as a rat. Yeah, that's a rat.
Wow, they actually really don't have anything special. Okay.
So it's just +0. So just roll 2d20 and
2d20?
take the higher. Plus, you don't really have a tent. If you really want to know how the ruins look like, I can put you there.
Well, then most likely, whatever my character, okay, cool.
You guys
My character would
fighting
probably
the
just kind
ruin,
of wander a little bit, but then.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Just roll another d20.
I mean, I can't get higher than the 20.
I know. But natural 20 doesn't mean success. They can
I
still
know.
beat it.
I was just saying, there's literally no improvement on my 20.
20. For them, to be perception, that would be wisdom. That is actually the best stat. Oh, 20 against 20. So 14 plus 6. What do I do?
I mean, I'm just a mouse in the ruin. I'm just a rat in the ruins.
I mean, the way you said, "Oh, I'm just going back to my tent,"
Yeah.
was a bit suspicious.
I mean, if you start wandering off, he would be looking at you. I will just consider the 20 that you rolled as the check, and he needs to beat it, and he did beat it. So I would say he just walks out to wherever you're walking, and he sees you turn into a mouse or a rat.
Whatever would be normal for the area, so probably a rat.
He is going to try to attempt to pick you up. Just roll acrobatics or athletics or something. He's going to try to pick you up very gently in his hands.
Alright, it'd just be another 1d20, so.
Yeah, you can just roll 1d20. I'll also roll.
Oh god!
Strength would be...
I just want to go explore the boat!
As you start to try to wriggle out of these ruins, since there are a lot of openings and breakages everywhere on the walls, he managed to come... You didn't see him walking behind you as you turn. And as you realize that he's trying to pick you up, you don't have much time to run away from him as he picks you up very gently and he just puts you in his pocket, and he goes back and sits down.
I need to make an attack roll on his pocket.
You can try to attack him as a mouse.
Can I assume the guard may have woke me up, considering I'm the one who asked him to keep an eye on this idiot?
I don't think he would. He's just keeping an eye on him. He's just keeping him here in this room. If you want to attack him, you can try and attack.
Yeah, I know. I've just got to figure out what the attack is.
It's probably
make
just
sure
a
it's not
D20 again.
Alright. +0 to hit. Okay, cool.
It's +0 to hit. 1d1 piercing damage.
1d1? Yes.
Yeah, but it's basically just 1. 12 does not hit. His AC is pretty high. They are monks. I don't even know how you missed from being in his pocket, but I guess you just bite his cloth, like his pants. I don't know. You just bite into what felt like his leg, but he somehow dodges out of your way, even though.
I'm just imagining that I'm trying to claw my way out. I just can't even figure out which way's up.
Yeah, he's just patting you on your head.
Such a cute little mouse.
Don't patronize me. This is gonna keep going on the entire night. I hope you know.
Yeah, you can keep doing it, but it would. I would say since it's a +0 and his AC is 16, I'm just doing a quick calculation on mine. You have to roll a 16 or above. That would be 20, 18, 19, 20. 5 times 5, 25% chance to hit. His health is like.
I wouldn't be damaging him. I'd be damaging the armor or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're not wearing armor. They are. Yeah. If you do bite him, you have to bite him at least 45 times. And.
The probability is I'm probably not going to get out.
Yeah, you have a 25% chance to hit 45 times. So, it's like. I'll just roll like just roll a D100, and if you roll a 1 or 100, you manage to escape.
Damn it!
You felt like you were close to escaping, but within the 2 hours, you didn't manage to get out of his. You seem to make a small hole in his pocket, which he doesn't seem to care about. He's still just slowly rubbing you on your head. But the 2 hours time of your transformation has ended, and you just become yourself.
I just burst out of his pocket.
Yeah, and with his hand on your head, and he's like, "Okay, this is weird now," and he just puts his hand back, and he wakes the other Dragonborn up to take watch.
Grumbles and just progressively walks back into the area.
All right, but at least as long as you're awake, nothing much happened. You didn't hear anything. It's all you hear are the winds that is pushing through these. Oh, sorry.
The winds call.
Yeah. You can even hear the whistling of the wind as it goes through the small cracks in these abandoned ruins.
I'm literally a wind mage.
Right.
It's like our call to adventure.
You will adventure in the morning. At least that's what Dan has promised you. But nothing happens at all in the night. As you wake up, you see that Rogar and the other Dragonborns are already awake. And they are just walking around, in a way, exploring these ruins, trying to see who or to which kingdom this ruin may have belonged to. Almost like a very archaeological way, as you can see Rogar examining these rocks and door structures and everything.
I'm using my one thing I have.
Okay.
Archaeology feats, boys.
Okay. Well, as you're doing it, everybody else is awake. So, what do you guys want to do? You see, Jarden and Rogar just looking around, trying to figure out to whom the ruins may have belonged to.
Ask them if they want to go with us to investigate the ships.
All right.
I also wanted to look at the ship.
Okay, so I'll just say Jarden is looking. I don't know, Jarden. Do you want to look at it, or do you want to go to the ship first? You see your companions.
Once I figure out where this place is, I'm sprinting towards that boat.
All right, I'll say that you go to the ship first before you come back and figure this thing out.
All right.
All right. You, as you start walking towards the cliff, once again, everybody sees the dead body, the corpse of the griffin that you killed. And as you start walking closer and closer to the cliffside, you start to hear the winds ramming into the wooden structures, this huge wooden structure of a ship, which is relatively big for these seas. And on the sails, which are not fully drawn out, they are about halfway drawn out, which is still a bit confusing because when the ship is docked, you don't really see the sails drawn out at all. You do see the sigil, the trident sigil of the Tulga Empire, marked on the sails. You see that it is currently abandoned. You don't see anyone on the deck, below the deck. Everywhere is just pretty much dark, especially because the sun hasn't risen completely yet. It's still under the shadow of the cliffs. You see that there is a walkway that basically takes you down about 40 feet onto the another wooden walkway, which seems to be laid out on top of the water itself. And along both the sides of this wooden walkway, you see torches, which are half of them are lit, half of them are not lit. They seem to have run out of fuel. And all of you can see the cave-like structure, a natural cave-like structure that is on the cliff's outer face. And on the inner side, you see a lot of crates and barrels seem to be stocked up on top of each other, but you're not entirely sure how long it's been there because you don't really see anyone else here. And most of the footprints that you see on the sand are Danis's and Jarden's footprints from last night. You don't have to put your tokens in yet. You just have to describe what you want to do.
So do
You guys are currently here on top.
So do we want to check the ship out first, or do we want to check the cave out first?
The cave.
I mean, I don't
I
know.
kind of want to check the ship first.
Let's split up the party.
No. Marlo, did you not have a choice, or do you not care?
I mean, let's be honest, we're probably going to look at both, right? So it doesn't really matter. Go first.
Fair enough. Do you want to do the...
I mean, I feel like the ship is probably safer first because we have more visual rather than just going into a cave and not knowing what we're looking at.
Yeah, so I probably agree. We'll sort the ship out first, then go into the cave.
Alright. Fine.
All right. Where is it? It's there. Okay. As you walk down this steep pathway, you start to see more and more of the ship itself. This ship, from your travels and being part of the town city guard, Danis, you would know that this is not really a warship or anything to do with any kind of battle. It's more of a cargo ship. As you can see, a lot, like about 50, maybe even 60 crates and barrels on the deck, and through the portholes you can see them. Even under the deck, you can see a lot of crates and barrels lined up. You don't really see any weapons or cannons or nothing of those sorts.
Okay. Can I roll stealth?
Yeah, you can.
I shall do the same.
All right. All right. As you two slowly and very carefully walk on the wooden planks, which don't seem to be constructed properly, or probably constructed too quickly and not too carefully. You slowly walk across as you see the other side of the ship, which is currently docked, and you see a ramp that is leading from the wooden walkway to the ship itself. And on the ramp, just behind the ramp, you can see a lot of crates, about 6 to 7 crates, and about another 5 or 6 barrels placed very carefully. You still don't see or hear anyone or anything around you.
Can I see
Yeah.
if I can see any signs of recent use? Like, obviously being closer up than on a cliff.
Just roll an investigation check. Yeah, I would say with an 18, it's very hard to say if it has been used recently or not. But as you were walking on the walkway, you did see that most of the torches that were not lit have run out of fuel, while the others that are badly lit are going to run out of fuel in another day or so. Other than that, it's very hard to say if it's been used recently or not. There are no other signs that you can observe from here.
Okay.
But since you're standing around here, you can see almost the entirety of the cave. It's not deep. It's not really that big either. It's about 40 to 50 feet inwards. And it is pretty dark. There isn't much light other than the sunlight at the opening of the cave itself. But you do see quite a lot of similar looking crates and barrels stacked up just next to the wall of the cave itself.
I'm gonna cast dancing lights to light up in there and see things better.
Okay. As you cast the dancing lights, you see that the cave is a completely natural cave. You don't see anybody inside. You see that there has been attempts of, in a way, expanding the cave. You can see some tools, metal tools at the very end of the cave, which may be or may have been used to excavate. But other than that, there are no tracks. Even the sand itself, you don't see any footprints at all. It seems to have been covered up either by the waves that are crashing in or by the wind itself. But it is completely empty. You're the only one in there.
Okay. Signal Marlowe and Jarden to come over to the ship. Then we might as well start checking.
All right.
I would say
As you what do you want to do, Cassandra?
Well, I want to be using my Eldritch Eyes the entire time. Just if there's anything magical, just looking around. And I'm gonna also kind of check out the ship.
All right.
So, was there anything in those storage crates that were down here?
Well, you can see them there. They are completely covered up. If you want to open them, you can open them.
I'll try opening and see what's inside.
All right. As you open the barrels, which are a lot easier to open and see from on the top.
Squirming
What
my
do you
way out the barrel.
Yeah, what you see inside is a very viscous, blackish liquid. It looks almost like oil, but it's much sludgier and thicker, and you would assume that it's extremely heavy compared to water.
Alright, could I roll an investigation or something along those lines to find out what it is?
Just take a sip.
Yeah. You can either roll.
Or a nature if you want. if it's find the components of it, unless it's not nature's origin.
Just roll investigation.
Investigation. I should have just took my passive.
A 9. It smells like oil, but you have no idea because this is definitely not oil. It just smells like it and it looks like it, but it's heavier.
Wait, is this? Would I have recognized the same like liquid coming out of the big wolf man?
No.
That oil?
That one was reddish. It had a reddish hue, but this one is just black as death. It's just black. It's like
Right.
tar. Yeah.
Then, since I can't pertain the origin of it, I'm gonna hop back over towards the ship and tell them about it.
Well, I'm not sure if you want to open a crate as well.
Oh yeah, I'll open up crate.
The crates, they are far more carefully packaged compared to the barrels. But as you open the crates, you see what looks like a very, oh god, I can hear myself. I don't know from whom, but anyway, let's continue. What you see is a very, it looks mechanical, like a pump. But you have never seen this before. If you have seen this before, you would think that you would see this in the automatons guild hall, because they are the ones who are.
I do work in the guild hall.
No, wait. Oh yeah, you do. I did forget that. You, in that case, would have definitely seen this before. It is a very complex mechanism that is about 3 to 4 feet in length. It has a glass casing, and at the other side it looks very much like a pump, or like a syringe, I would say, which is usually used to push liquids from the glass casing into foreign objects. You, having worked in the automaton guilds, you would know that this is a very familiar chemical that has been used to fortify certain structures. The most famous structure, or the most known structure that has been fortified by the using of this pump-like mechanism, are the walls of the city of Dragonheller. The city of Dragonheller has walls which are shiny black. They are so reflective, at the same time extremely strong, that no one actually, not many people know what this chemical is that was used to fortify these walls, to make them almost impossible to be broken down by an invading army. Not just the city walls of Dragonheller, but also the inner walls of the castle that you guys were in when Rogar brought you in to talk to Fane about his dealing. Some of the other buildings in Dragonheller are also fortified by usage of this mechanism along with a certain chemical. You're not entirely sure about the chemical, but you do know that these pumps are used to, in a way, mix the chemical along with rocks and stones and other building materials to make them impossible to be broken down.
Is this like a actual is this like a really heavy pump, or is it something I could actually carry?
It is, you would know that it is pretty heavy since you worked, at a place. It is very archaic. It's not super efficient. So it is bulky, and there are smaller gears just behind the glass flask. So it's. How tall are you?
I am not that tall. I will let you know that now.
Yeah, like the pump, the entirety of the pump is 4 feet in length. So
I'm pretty sure it's a little bit smaller than me. Just a little bit, though.
yeah, I would say Marlowe might be able to lift it, but the rest of you, I don't know. And what you see are crates filled with these. The crate that you're looking at has at least 6 or 7 of them inside.
Oh no, the pump's actually bigger than me.
Yep, they are.
Oh boy. So normally this stuff is like only for Dragon's Helm, isn't it? Or what is it called? Yeah,
Dragon Heller.
it's Dragon Heller. Yeah.
Yeah, it's used, as far as you know, it's used only in Dragon Heller. But you have heard of, since you worked with a lot of dwarves and other gnomes, most of the dwarves and gnomes, they live in the city of Dondale, which, if you had seen the map, it's slightly to the north of Dragon Heller. They are frequent users of these pumps. Let's put it that way. That's the story that
I was more or less curious of, is this type of, I'm assuming what the liquid is on the side is used for, it's actually the actual stuff. I was wondering if it is like privately used, or is it like a secret material that not a lot of people can get their hands on? Because if it is, I'm pretty sure we're dealing with pirates.
Well, you wouldn't know the chemical at all. Your guild has nothing to do with the chemicals. Your guild very rarely
So
go
yeah, I
into
wouldn't
the
know about
alchemical stuff.
chemical
You
stuff. Okay.
would know about the pump because you guys create it, you manufacture it. Your guild does that.
Yeah.
But from even with your investigation of 9, you have no idea what the chemical is in the
Okay.
barrel.
Then, do I have anything that could actually carry it? Not. Hey, I actually do have a tent. I forgot. Is there anything in the explorer's pack that actually be able to hold a small vial of stuff?
I have no idea. You can click on the explorer's
I'll
pack.
look at the explorer's
Yeah.
pack real quick.
What do the others want to do? Do you guys want to go to the ship? Or
Yeah,
do you want to do anything else?
checking out that ship, see if there's anyone on there.
Alright. As you go into the ship is currently swaying from the waves, but it is pretty firmly anchored on the other side, at least. But the ramp doesn't lead you to the deck itself. You go to the layer below the deck. And as you walk in, you see about 6 or 7 hammocks hanging that are empty. No one is in the hammock or around it. It is relatively dark, except for a couple of torches, which seem to be running out of fuel pretty soon. But other than that, you don't really see anything else other than, once again, a few barrels and crates, but these are open, and most of the barrels, they seem to contain drinking water, not the salt water from the ocean. And the crates around under the deck, they mostly contain few weapons, some swords, some scimitars. Nothing big. They aren't exactly sharp either. And that's all that you see under the deck.
Okay, and there's no way to go further below us?
There is a small stairway that goes underneath, and a bigger stairway that leads you onto the deck itself.
Cassandra, could you send some lights down, please?
Sending some lights around.
Okay.
And I'd like to keep an eye on
Underneath, as you send the lights underneath, the deck. You see a smaller room just at the front part of the ship, at least, which is currently slowly filling up with water, very slowly, nothing too dangerous about it. Other than that, there's really nothing down there. It smells really bad, but there's nothing down 2 layers down the deck.
Yeah, I'll head up to the main deck then.
All right. Okay. On the main deck, you see a lot of barrels and crates, all of them closed. And on the front end of the ship, you see a door, a pretty grand door, bigger, and has the trident symbol as part of the handle to open it. You see about 4 spare longboats being held. None of them seem to have been used, recently at least. Both the sails on both the masts are halfway down, and there's no one on the crow's nest on top either. There are no cannons, there are no torches. It's pretty plain up here.
Can I go to the door and listen?
Yeah, you can do that. You just roll a perception check.
Does that say, would I be able to use my passive, or should I just roll it?
With your passive, you can. It's a 21, right?
It's a 23 because I've not been adding my proficiency bonus to it.
Okay. With the 23, you don't hear anything, but the wind whistling through, and from time to time a slow and a high-pitched creak. You're not entirely sure if it is the ship's ropes being pulled or is it the ship swaying. You're not entirely sure where the sound is coming from.
Can I check to see if the door's locked?
The door is not locked.
Is it trapped?
You can roll an investigation check with your passive. It looks like it's not trapped, but just in case, if you want to roll.
Yeah, I'll roll for it.
Investigation. Yeah. Yeah. It's not entirely closed either. As you try to figure out if it's trapped, if there are any arrows or any other trigger-based traps behind it, you see that the door is actually just a bit ajar, and it's pretty dark inside. There's no light inside. But from time to time now you can hear some kind of a bottle or glass object rolling from side to side.
Okay.
That's all that you see.
I would like to draw my sword and push open the door slowly.
Mm-hmm. It is still pretty dark. You see nothing in darkness. I'm assuming because you're human.
Yeah, Cassandra, could you show me the light?
I bring the lights over.
As she brings the lights over, and since she has dark visions, you, Cassandra, you first notice that there is a table, like a pretty, about 4 to 5 feet long table, and what seems like a wooden chair behind it. There are many smaller crates, some chests, some couple of barrels, some bottles of wine. Well, not wine, but some bottles on the desk, on the table itself. And you also see a couple of chairs knocked over, and as the lights go through, even Dennis, you can see all this. It is pretty gloomy and quiet, but there is nothing that's moving other than the bottle that is just rolling from side to side as the ship sways.
Cassandra, do you see anything?
Do I see anything magical?
One second, let me see.
Yeah.
There is. You feel a faint, very faint aura coming from behind this table. You can't really see it from you guys walking in. You will have to go around to see it. But a very, very faint aura. Nothing to
I
hold it.
approach the aura.
All right. What you see? Well, as you approach the aura, the first thing before the magical item itself, what you see is a humanoid figure lying prone on the ground behind the table, and this humanoid creature, it doesn't seem to move. It doesn't seem to be breathing either. But it is currently with one of its arms. It's currently holding on to what looks like a logbook that sailors use. And and you see dried blood. It's dried and sticky kind of blood that is on the wooden floor around this body. The magical aura itself is coming from the... Give me a second. The magical aura itself is coming from his other arm, which is currently quite hard to look at since it only has one finger left. On the only finger that is left, which is the ring finger, you see a ring that is emanating a very soft and low lit aura of magical nature.
Could I use an Arcana check to discern what sort of nature the ring has?
Do you want to touch it?
Would you like me to touch it?
Yes, be my guinea pig.
Can I cut his finger off?
Well, yeah, that's the last finger that he has, so you can definitely cut his finger off.
Okay, I'm gonna try and pry the ring off the dead finger.
All right. As you take the... It's pretty hard to take it out, but you do manage to take it out of the already severed finger.
Am I able to put the ring on the sword?
On your rapier?
Yeah, like pick it up with the blade.
Ah, okay. Yeah. After about 2 minutes of trying to take it out of the finger, you do manage to take it up with your rapier.
You saw nothing.
Okay. What do you do with it?
I'm just holding it there, so do I look at it?
As in, is Cassandra looking at it?
Oh yeah, she doesn't have to touch it, but she can at least do a check.
Yeah. She can roll an Arcana check.
Sweet. Alright. Noise.
Oof. Okay. You know for a fact that this is something that's very. You feel like it should be familiar to you from the short conversation that you had while you were still in Lord Alden's guest apartment about a certain artifact. You see that this ring has a bright and a sharp red ruby attached to it. And you have not worn this before in your life, but you have seen people wear it in the southern parts of the world, of your continent, from where you're from Saquin. It is the Ring of Warmth. But you recognize the ruby from your conversation, as well as your personal knowledge that you have on said items from what you read from the book of alchemy.
Cool.
I will
cool.
give you the Ring of Warmth. It does require attunement, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I will snatch that ring up off of that sword and slip it on.
Don't you have? How many are you attuned to? The pendant.
I think it might be just the pendant.
I have no idea. The health, right? The Preapt of Health, yeah. Yeah, that's the only one that you have.
Yeah.
So I will give this to you.
Sweet.
You now have the Ring of Warmth. Basically, you have resistance to cold damage, and you and everything you wear and carry are unharmed by temperatures as low as negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Nice.
It's nice for some.
Sorry, what was that?
It's nice for some having all of these resistances. Can I look around these quarters to see if there's any gold or anything lying around?
You see that it is completely destroyed. It's almost as though there has been a fight or some kind of a struggle with all the chairs. Even the desk has been chipped off the corner of the desk. Some of the bottles are broken. From the light that you have, all you can see are just pieces of wood and with some of the glass pieces just shattered everywhere. You don't really see any gold pieces or silver pieces, even on the dead body that is in front of you. The only thing that you find are some books, some logbooks, some maps on the table itself, and of course the book that the corpse is holding on to. And there is a chest, but inside the chest it seems to have been completely emptied, except for a few clothes, a couple of weapons, a couple of swords, some daggers, but nothing of high importance.
Well, I'll take the book and the logbook.
All right. You manage to pry it out of his cold, dead hands. It is where you wanna read it, or what?
I'll skim through it, just general idea.
All right. As you're skimming through it, a folded piece of yellowish parchment falls out of the book. And as you pick it up and you open it up, you see something familiar, but slightly different. I'll just... screw it, I'll just put all the players on it. In your hand, you see on the parchment that just fell out of the book, you see a crudely drawn map of the Free Islands, very similar to the ones that you saw in Lord Alden's office. But these ones seem to have markings on the map itself. There are some places are circled, some places are marked off, but it doesn't have any writing. There's no written language, there's no written words or anything except for these markings.
So, looking at, like, say, here and here, two places we've encountered fish-based creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to come to some form of conclusion that the other marks could be other places of interest for the same thing?
I mean, I don't see why you want to ask the DM if you come to the conclusion. You can come to the conclusion.
No, it's fair enough in case you wanted to roll an intelligence check or something. I don't know, it's just that's the conclusion that I'm coming to.
You, as a player, whatever conclusion you come up with, that is the same conclusion that your character will come up with. Unless he has an intelligence of a 6 or a 5, then he wouldn't come up with that.
Well, I don't have that problem, but yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll just pocket this for now.
All right. In that case, I will throw you all back into this map. In the other book that you found on the table itself, this book, instead of the map of the Free Islands, this book has the map of the entire world, and it's basically it doesn't have any markings or writings other than the map itself. But if you flip through the pages, you just skim through it, you can see that where this ship has docked in the past 3 to 4 months, about 3 to 4 months, you're not entirely sure from just skimming through, and where it is going in the future for the next 2 to 3 weeks. It just seems like a logbook for docking and undocking from ports.
Okay. I'll keep both the books and the note.
All right. There's nothing else of importance inside the room.
Fair enough.
So-
go on.
Did you also say there was a bottle of wine in here somewhere?
There are a lot of bottles of different liquids behind the dead body itself on shelves. You're not entirely sure if it's wine.
I'm gonna browse through the different bottles and take a sniff.
Okay. All of them smell disgusting, but they're all different types of alcohol that you would assume sailors would drink. Some ale, some rum. Nothing too sinister.
I leave the bottles where they sit. They are not classy enough for me.
All right.
Cassandra, if you want to go around the ship with Marlowe and myself just to see if there's anything magical lying around. If not, we could probably leave this ship alone.
I was gonna say, you guys haven't gone to the cave yet, have you?
Us three, no, not yet. Just you did.
What? Hello?
Yep.
You are cutting off, for me at least.
So, since they were all busy with the ship, and I had collected a little bit of that alchemical liquid, I'm going to now, since there's nothing stopping me,
Ooh. What did you roll?
transform into a majestic crabbo and start wandering into the cave,
What are you changing into?
into a crab. Something that would
Alright.
be normal and not out of place in this area.
Okay. Do crabs have dark vision?
No, they have blind sense.
Ah, okay. As you turn into a crab and start to shuffle sideways into this relatively smaller cave, you don't see anybody or anything inside except certain tools that have been set out for excavation purposes. As you can see, some of the rocks on the inside the cave's wall itself is chipped off pretty recently. But it seems like it's almost impossible to excavate through this kind of a rock structure. And you wonder why would anyone even try that? Other than that, there's literally nothing in there.
Oh, there's literally nothing in here.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's a very small cave. It's not like a super deep.
Oh, I thought
cave
there
or
was.
anything.
I didn't know if anybody explored it or not. Okay. Well then, possibly due to, okay, there might be something to do with the actual rock composition. All right. Well, wandering back out.
Okay. You want to go into the water as a crab?
Sure, I'll go swim the water for fun.
Okay. Where do you want to go exactly into the water? This may be important.
I
Just-
suppose nearby or under the boat,
Okay.
if there's anything special.
Just
That's all.
roll. What is the crab's stats? I need to just look at the.
30 feet blind vision.
No, the stats itself.
Oh, crap.
Like intelligence, wisdom, and all that.
But that don't matter because I am a crab.
Oh, yeah. So just roll perception.
Perception?
And
Oh
what-
yeah, I get my own perception for that.
Yeah, what is your passive?
My passive is 19.
You from wandering underneath the ship itself, you see that the ship seems like it's taken a few hits. You're not entirely sure what hit it. It's definitely not cannons, but some of the parts of the ship underneath are dented, and water seems to be slowly seeping in. But since it's really close to the shore, it's not really drowning, so to speak. But you feel like this ship has been damaged by something.
Something attacking
Yeah.
from below.
You're not entirely sure.
Alright. And then if there's nothing else really special around the area, I'm probably just going to wander back out and meet with everyone else.
All right. What does everyone else want to do?
So, did anyone go and check the cave?
Snip, snip.
Oh, looks like we found our food for tonight.
Snip, snip. Playing it nonchalantly.
If no one has gone to check, should we have a quick check in the cave?
You can check it. You go to the cave and you see the very similar thing, except, of course, one of the barrels and one of the crates are open. And you see exactly the same thing that oh god, what's your name?
Jarden.
Jarden, yes. Jarden saw.
See, I'm not the only one who has difficulty with names.
No, you're fine. I can't remember half the characters' names.
I always say Jaden, but it's apparently Jarden with an R.
Yeah, I had to make it freaking fancy. Alright. Reverting while they're all in the cave and just sitting next to the barrel. Wow, what took you guys so long?
I just lean over to Danis and go, I really don't like this guy.
Do you reckon we could just drown him and no one would miss him? I'm not even whispering this.
I mean, you could try, but I wouldn't recommend it. Oh, by the way, it appears as if the ship itself had taken some minor damage from the bottom side. Nothing looked like normal, like, cannon fodder.
Yeah, the only person on board was dead, and you could tell from the inside that it was slowly taking on water.
So, I'm kind of intrigued. Would something have attacked it from the bottom?
It's possible, but I'd rather not find out.
I'd also rather not find out, so I'm going to avoid the water for any longer. Also, I managed to find this pump that normally is in the Automatons Guild. I don't know why it would be out here, and I also found this liquid. It looks like... it looks blackish. Can't really make anything of it.
Could I inspect the liquid?
Yeah.
Was it-
Investigation check.
let's see.
It is thick black liquid. What did you roll? You have never. Yeah, you have seen other kind of liquids that are similar to what you're seeing inside. The closest one you would attribute it to is a type of a fuel that many city guard as well as bigger cities use to light up a huge fire to guide ships, but it could be different. It's very hard to say without actually testing.
Well, I take one big stride backwards. I'm not entirely sure, but that looks very similar to something extremely flammable.
That's what I assumed too, from what I made of it. But I haven't seen any hide or hair of what this is.
Sorry, did I hear flammable? Do you want something set on fire?
Nope, I'll take another step back.
Yeah, no, let's keep the explosives away from the fire.
Or if we do, can we at least leave the area before you set everything on fire?
That would be recommended.
I'm hearing I'm getting permission to set something on fire.
After we've left. Because I'm worried that the stuff here, which is flammable, is also on the ship flammable.
Drops a nuke in the air.
So let's not do it while we're stood right in the middle of it.
Alright.
So do we all set off before Aurora just unleashes napalm?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cassandra, not Aurora.
Yeah.
Because that would be messed up if she sets people on fire.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm ready to set things on fire too.
Cassandra, yeah.
Sure. If you guys, I mean, how far do you want to go? There are in here by itself there are about 15 barrels, and about here there are about 6 barrels, and on the deck you saw about another 4 or 5 barrels.
So how much fire can you produce and at how far of a distance?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, I can cast firebolt at it, and then I can also, I think, create like a very small fire with prestidigitation. I can light or set the candle.
Yeah, I just want to know how far away we can be before you need to set something on fire.
Oh, 120 feet.
Then let's go to that distance, then burn to your heart's content, because this isn't something we need to leave here.
Sounds good to me.
Nukes
Sure.
away.
Which one do you want to hit first? There are some on the ship, some here, some there.
Do what work for the cave? Run, hit the barrels, run, hit the ship, run.
I'll go ahead and be near the ones over here, and I'll shoot at the ones in the cave once everyone gets a safe distance away.
I'm booking it.
Yeah.
Where are you standing, Cassandra?
Right about there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is everyone a safe distance away? Can I let loose?
I don't know if we're a safe distance away, but might as well.
Everyone except you are safe distance away.
I'm probably just gonna throw this and then immediately start running up the boardwalk.
That's what we're thinking.
Okay.
All right. And off I go.
As you conjure this firebolt up, and you aim very carefully on the barrel that was opened, you start to run before it hits it. And as you take about 2 to 3 steps in front, you hear the loudest and the most scariest bang that you've heard ever in your life. It just goes boom, like really, really loud. And now that it's inside a cave, I don't know what to do. I wanna firstly, I wanna see if you survive this.
I want to see if you survive.
Best character death ever.
I am watching from the cliff side on the others back
I'm
towards
running away from an explosion. This is an awesome way to die. Okay.
This is probably the best way I've seen somebody go. So
To be honest, we're kind of changing the landscape doing this.
Yeah. Wait, firstly, let's go one by one. First, I would say, I'll give the benefit of the doubt to you. I would say you managed to run half your distance before it starts to go boom. So let's say let's just say you're somewhere there. So that would be 70 feet away. Okay.
So realistically, where is the rest of us at this point?
I'm assuming somewhere over here.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys are all here. That's 120 feet away.
I'm over here watching this.
All right. You know what? Roll initiative. Just you, Cassandra.
Roll initiative versus barrel.
Yeah, I'm
see
gonna
if you
roll
can
for
outrun.
the fire. Because I don't know how long it takes for the fire to get to these barrels, and then to these barrels.
Holy shit.
Oh man, let's see the barrel movement.
Oh, you got lucky there. As you throw the fire and you run about 15 feet, you hear the bang. It starts to echo into the cave and reflect back at you. You can start to feel the warmth. Just a warmth at the first half a second, and then searing burns starting to try to catch up to you from behind. It's just the heat wave at first before the fire gets to you. So let me...
Can we actually see
barrels.
like the fire coming towards her?
You can actually, firstly, before the fire, the shockwave hits all of you. Everyone who's 120 feet away, you don't feel the heat, but you feel some kind of a wave of force that hits you, and it pushes you back just a bit, but not too much for now. Let me see.
Here comes the next one.
Just like I said, it's like a wall of fire just chasing after her.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
uh,
What?
well, that's 11 barrels and, 88 per barrel. So that's 88.
Can I sprint? I don't know if it's going to change anything.
Wait. You don't even see this. You are still taken aback by the shockwave. I'm just counting how far it goes and how quickly it goes.
Just
How
say-
much damage dissipates by distance?
30. 30. You are about there. Okay. I would say that you can run for one more turn, so you can dash as well, if you wish. But don't turn back. Just keep running.
Can I take an action?
It depends on what you want to do, because
I would like to.
everything's happening very, very quickly.
I would like to sprint, bonus action sprint, and try and tackle her into the water.
Okay. You shall try that. I would say you're somewhere there. You move 30, and then you move 30, and then you move 30. You can get around there. Yeah, I would say as the fire... Let me draw that shit.
If this works, I'm about to save your life.
If it doesn't, you both dead.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
As the fire is about here, and you're starting to hear multiple loud bangs behind you, and you can also feel the entire cliffside starting to shake and smaller
I'm
rocks
just gonna
starting to
have
fall
this
off.
put up before any debris flies at me.
What do you say? You want to run away or?
Oh no, I'm just setting this so there's like a ward of wind protecting me from any possible debris.
All right. You see that the cliffs, which are about 40 feet in height, the rocks are starting to fracture and starting to fall down into the water around this region for now. And at this point, you can barely see the cave, since the entire fire cloud, or the fire mushroom that you see in the nuclear strike, starts to engulf the entirety of the cave itself. I would give you one chance for tackling if you want right now.
Can she
Before-
just accept that I tackle her?
She can automatically finish.
I
Yeah,
think
you
I
can
would
dash.
accept that tackle.
All right. I
Take a deep
will.
breath.
As you are running and you turn the corner, and right now you can feel the heat wave hitting both you and Dennis. I would say you still take a bit of damage. 58. So both of you take about 13 heat damage. It's not really fire, but it's starting to burn off a bit of your clothes and your hair and your skin. And just about half a second away from complete incineration, both of you
Sorry.
get pushed into, well, not both of you get pushed, but Dennis pushes and jumps himself into the water just underneath these rocks. Does anybody else want to do anything in this 2-second period? Or like 3 seconds period?
You might want to get behind the ward. To the other gentleman who's actually up here with me.
Yeah.
All right. So next, it starts to move further. 30 more feet. Oh, damn, got until there. And these 6 barrels go boom.
Well, if there was anything here, it's dead now. We can at least say that.
In all fairness, I think a few of us might be dead soon.
I will say, you can see fire engulfing from above you. The water isn't too deep. It is about 11 feet, 10 to 11 feet deep. So your entire body can't submerge in. But you can still, from just looking above you, you can see this wave of fire ramming into and getting pushed up the cliff. Do you guys want to do anything? I'll give you one more turn to do anything.
Can we possibly start swimming if there's enough
I would
water
say
to go across?
you can move at half speed.
It's probably best not to just stay under the water in a corner.
Alright. Since you can dash as well. Half speed is 15. Another 15. So you can go up to somewhere here, I think.
Okay.
Like 60. I'm assuming you're still under the water and you're not coming up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and lead up Cassandra with me.
Okay, I would say it's relatively possible. Both of you are moving, plus since you're a rogue, you can dash twice, and she can dash once. So I would say both of you managed to somewhat get around here. Under the cliff face, so to speak. It's like under the shadow of the cliff. Yeah, you're like somewhere there actually. And now these things go on.
Jesus, how much was on the ship?
Just
More than you think.
barrels. Where are you, Jordan?
I'm up here. Hold on.
Oh.
Is it- I'm up here.
Oh shit. As you see, well, both Marlowe and Jordan can see this very clearly. The ship just... You have never seen a ship get decimated to this extent before, where planks of wood and even some of the from where you are, you can actually see pumps getting just thrown over 40-50 feet in the air, and the entirety of you can see this huge wave of water getting pushed out as well. And I would say you still take some damage.
Would that be from fire or anything?
The heat, yeah. It's just the heat damage. You just take 1 damage. You and Marlowe each take 1 damage of heat wave.
Hot.
Getting hit. It's just an invisible kind of wave that almost burns your skin. I will let... Well, the fire spreads one more time, but the fire is no longer the problem for the two of you under the water. You still do take damage as long as you're there from the heat itself. As you can see the waves from this huge blast underneath the ship pushing you towards the cliff. You can even see some of the wooden planks that were used as the walkway blasted on top of you. But now the fire is no longer the issue, but the cliff itself may collapse. So let me just quickly... I would say...
You know, in retrospect, we probably should have thrown the fire from on top of this cliff.
Why would that be a smart idea?
Because you throw the fire and watch the whole thing go up from the safety of the sand back here.
I thought we were doing it in safety.
You can feel both Dennis and Cassandra, you can feel the cliff shaking on top of you, but it is not currently fracturing and breaking down like the other side. From where Marlowe and Jordan are sitting, you can see that the entirety of the cliff is completely gone, and it's all down here. All the rocks are fallen. It's almost like you just created another bigger cave and helped with the excavation process that had been happening earlier. And some of the rocks are slowly starting to fall off as well. What do you guys want to do?
I think we'll try and get to here, then just leave. Like get up onto the walkway and try and get out.
There is no more walkway. It's all gone. It's all got blasted to pieces, and it's all like you can see wooden planks, pieces like thousands of pieces of wooden planks just floating in the water. It's just completely water now. It's just water all the way until that.
How deep is the water over here?
Where?
Yeah.
Where are you pointing
We're
at?
talking over it.
Over here.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
So down here.
Or if anything, this as well. If I can get
Yeah.
to it.
All right. So here, it is relatively shallow. Both Dennis and Cassandra can stand on it, while the water would be about knee level, slightly below knee level. Here, under this, just below this, between these two cliff faces, it is about 15 to 20 feet deep.
Okay.
But currently, you can see the waves of water just getting pushed in all directions from the center of the blast that you just created.
Then there is not a whole lot I could do. I was gonna try to jump in, transform, and save you guys, but I literally can't get in there without the blast just exploding or just smothering you guys.
Yeah, I think our only option is to try and get to here and get
Fly
out
me
the
out.
water. Yeah.
I'll say that you will still be taking some heat damage. You guys do you. In this turn, start of the turn, both of you take 6 damage. You can feel the heat going through the water itself, and especially now that the water is pretty much, it doesn't exist anymore. The water is all splashed out. You can feel the heat wave hitting you over and over. The longer you're here, the worse it gets.
I take another 6 damage, I'm down, by the way.
Oh
Well,
god.
Then get out as quick as you can then. You have one more chance now.
Yeah. Let's book it.
I'm gonna hold my action.
Alright. What do you want to hold?
The very second they're over past this point, I'm going to activate my gust of wind. Just to kind of keep that heat and radiation from flying at them.
Why don't you roll initiative as well? I mean, you would be faster than the fire because I rolled a 1. But I just want to see if you go before them or after them. I think they rolled like a 7.
I can't roll initiative for some reason.
Oh yeah, just roll a d20 plus. They rolled a 7.
1d20 plus 2.
Okay, I would say that you can act before their move now.
So I'm holding my action.
All right.
Because if I use it beforehand, they start losing movement.
All right. 10 feet wide. Okay. All right. So you guys can take your move before the fire starts to spread.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to just leave.
Sprint, and more
I would
sprint.
say she can go up to 30, but since you can go up to 60, I would say both of you together can go up to like 40. Somewhere about there would be the maximum you can go.
Okay.
That's fine. I can put the ward right here then.
All right, so I'll say that you have moved to about there. And what do you want to do now? Because the fire right now is going to spread another 30 feet. So 5, 10, 30. So I want somewhere here. So before the fire spreads, you can use your gust of wind.
Yes.
How
Basically,
and where? Do you want?
where they are blasting the air like upwards,
Mm-hmm.
so that the fire rolls up and not onto them.
All right. As you see, the fire is already rolling. It's rolling up the cliff, the face of the cliff. It's almost like it's climbing it, since it's very contained explosion, so to speak. With your gust of wind, I would say.
Basically, I'm trying to clear this little like pocket right here, so they don't get completely incinerated.
Okay. I would say you managed to do it. Fire spreads about only halfway through. And it starts to climb, but they still do take a bit of damage.
Could it be half that damage that from earlier?
Yeah, I'll just do, instead of 2d8, I'll roll 1d8. So both Cassandra and Dennis take 1 damage as you feel the fire creeping up behind you on the final steps. You're about to get out of the water and off onto the land. And you see Jordan come to stand right in front of you and push the fire all the way up, letting you take just 1 more heat damage on your backs as you two manage to crawl up the sand.
Wow, this is the most threatening fight we've had so far.
Yeah. Who
This
would
is
have
the
thought?
most damage I've ever taken.
That is also true.
Does that say what is the total of damage through all of that?
I don't know, 230.
Are you talking pure environmental
358,
damage or just taking damage?
Like barrel damage, everything.
658, 748. 748 total. If you were standing like right here or something, you would have taken, I believe you would have taken all the damage. He was in the middle of everything.
Nice.
Beautiful.
I was like, what the hell is she doing? She just said she can do that with 120. And I just measured it. And I'm like, holy shit, 120 feet is like all the way there. So I was like, why is she standing here next to red
I
barrels?
wanted to observe the explosion, and then I was like, oh wait, shit, I'm gonna die.
That's why I started sprinting.
I was so confused for a while, but then I was like, it's your decision, so it happens. But you managed to get out of this alive, surprisingly. But everything in there is now destroyed. Most of the cliff face is all broken down. And right now you see Rogar slowly walking towards you. And this is where we'll take a 5-minute break. I will be back in 5 minutes.